Hello everyone, Happy New Year. This Beyond video will be set in the most boring milieu so far, at least compared to last year when we were in Split. However, I'm walking to my work. I like walking, although it's been like this the whole winter. No snow, no romantic winter at all. Just like few days when it was kind of crispy, fresh, cold, but otherwise it's been gray. However, things are good. And it's 2020. And when I was a child, let's say 1995 or something, 6, 7, I remember I was really keen on reading science journals or magazines. You know, we were supposed to be having space tourism 10 years ago. We were supposed to be landing on faraway lands out there, but none of that has happened, and not much is going on in the kind of you know, jet zone environment which we were thinking maybe 2020 would be. So if you go back to 50s, 60s, the kind of optimism was higher, I guess, and I think the 90s were the last kind of decade where people had this kind of vision of the 2000s as something revolutionary. But it is revolutionary in the terms of perpetual war and destruction, you know. How will this year be? Will the USA, along with its boss Israel, find a way, another reason, another false proof to go to war? They've tried already over the last half year to get a war with Iran or stir up something there. Things are cooking, and you know, that's the kind of the rip-off I get. For anybody kind of old enough or with the age enough to remember the optimism the world had for the future, but now we have mass destruction, distraction, not destruction. Well, we have destruction too, but distractions. So I do walk to work because I find it very odd sometimes to be on the buses and trains, and you know, people are just breaking their necks over their phones. So that's what we have: mass distraction, entertainment, and pocket information, pocket contact, and all that. So although I've been very busy working, I've had time to finish a book which is written and set in the 17th century. So it's very interesting to see how people lived back then, what pace they kind of had, that you know, suddenly they had to wait 2 weeks at the harbor, not being able to go ashore due to some bureaucratical complications, and how they passed time, and how much letters meant, and seemingly they had a kind of different mode towards reflection and contemplation, something we don't have today, I guess, because if you think about something, you can just jump online and find somebody else who's thinking about the same thing and kind of sync up immediately, so you don't have that pause, which I still remember as a child, that you had. You could kind of think about something for a week and then get the time and set the space for finding out more or something. So I guess this place will be the perfect place to end the video before I move on. It's still chilly, but not that cold. Anyway, speaking about the future and the hyper technological age we were supposed to live in. I mean, the amount spent on wars and, you know, taking care of wars too, you know, the movement of people, the build-up and all that money is really wasted. And when you look at society and the world, it kind of looks the same. Go through your family albums, not much has changed really, but the revolution is in perpetual war, perpetual mass destruction, and genetical kind of magic or tempering or whatever, you know, on that level, the nano level, the genetical modification and all that. That is the only field which is kind of, which has proven to live up to the futuristic standards people were expecting. Now anyway, for me personally this year, I did a list of things I want to accomplish, or at least come a long way to accomplish, because I did that when we were in Split in December 2018, and it was very satisfying to kind of check out the list and almost complete it. One of the things was the last video I uploaded, the song I wrote 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, which I finally found a singer to, you know, just put down a good version of it, and I was really satisfied. And that's another thing, I enjoy making YouTube videos. I haven't had much inspiration and time over the last couple of months. Things will change, and this month will be also a lot of work, because we're moving to a better place, a better apartment on a better location, in a very beautiful part of of this region. So, and there I will have, and we will have a dedicated room, a studio, in a better way that I have today. However, you know, looking at YouTube, it's really gone crazy. Many channels I followed are not longer available. The censorship is total, especially regarding certain topics. You know, decadence and hate speech and all craziness is allowed, but some topics are very, very restricted. And yeah, and even what's interesting to see is how those channels that got taken down and banned and whatnot, how the payment services are kind of freezing them out, like PayPal and Coinbase and Patreon and so on. And that's a glimpse into the future, because, like, for example, in Sweden we don't really use cash anymore. I still use cash. It's good to have, but more and more shops are removing cash, and that's not the case in the rest of Europe, especially, you know, just German and, you know, downwards. Cash is still very, very accepted and preferred, but here not so much. And the thing is, people don't realize that in that future, every transaction... I was talking so long, the camera shut me down. Yeah, so basically a grandparent can give their grandchildren 500 crowns without that being traceable, and you can just add one and one and realize that in the future, if you don't have the right way of living and opinions, you will get freezed out in a different way from what is going on in China today, where they have the social scoring system. However, many of those tech companies and technologies are available here in our part of the world, and, you know, applicable. Not officially, not like that, but they are still applicable, and you bet it used. So same but different. We still have this kind of air of freedom, deep rooted in our culture, compared to them over there. So, to end this video, if you haven't, please enjoy yourself while looking up on YouTube Latvian, Lithuanian and Estonian folk music festival, where they have like 20,000 people or 10,000 people singing together in a resonance, in a choir, and everybody's dressed up in their folk clothes. So the thing is, those countries were the last to be Abrahamized in Europe, so they still have this kind of pre-Abrahamic tradition, songs and culture. So really look into that. It's really beautiful, and the songs are beautiful. They are about the earth, the sun, the seasons, the love and the country and all that, and really inspiring, beautiful, people dressed up, and really, I mean, if you have been singing with people, let's say a group of people, 8 to 10 people, and you did some resonance singing, it's wonderful. And people singing together in a choir, they know the experience. So imagine having like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 people, even the audience singing together songs which are, you know, older than the oldest generation you can remember. That's really beautiful, and it's nowhere to be seen in Europe. So I got my eyes on the Baltic countries, and if I get the opportunity to go there, I will definitely go when those song and dance music festivals are happening, basically. So yeah, time to move on, and just wish you people watching this all the best, and take care. Ciao.